Can anyone in the Eastern Conference beat the Boston Celtics?
I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no, and I just think that the Celtics like this. When you boil down the numbers, you look at it. This is one of the best teams we've ever seen. They have one of the best point differentials that we've ever seen from a team. They beat three teams so far by 50 points this season. Nobody's ever done that before. I think this is just a roster that is stacked with talent. You got Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Porzingis, who probably should have been an All-Star, Derek White, who could have been an All-Star, Drew Holiday, who's been an All-Star before. Like, this is a legitimate super team that nobody's talking about like it's a super team. And I just feel like when the playoffs roll around, we all gonna see that. Nah, we should have been looking at this team way differently than we actually were all season long.
See, y'all about to make me do something I never want to do. But I got trust in Doc Rivers and Giannis Antetokounmpo and Dame that if they meet up in a 7-game series, I truly think you're going to see that this team, while the regular season looks good, they always find a way to lose it in the playoffs. Ain't nothing really changed between these teams outside of adding two players. You still got your core two with Brown and Tatum. You still got your coach last year who was doing some dumb stuff in the playoffs, and it showed up versus the Heat. I think that if they get into a 7-game series with Giannis and Dame, Doc won't be able to coach them to a loss because Giannis is going to be like, you know what? I'm going to win this game for us. And if you're going to put Porzingis on him or try to put Al Horford on him, I truly think now with Dame, they could try to get that mismatch. I don't know if you're going to have Al Horford on the island with Dame shooting 35-foot threes thinking like that's the best solution. And then also, this team has won a championship, unlike the Boston Celtics, so they still have a lot of those guys who was on that team to be like, hey, we've been there before. We know how to win. So I'm actually thinking the Bucks with Glenn Doc Rivers as their coach is the only way to stop the Boston Celtics in the East.
I'm not mad at Milwaukee, but I'm going to throw another team out there that we seem to forget about every single year until the playoffs come around, and that's the Miami Heat. Now, listen, if they go into a series against the Celtics, I'm not sure I'm going to pick them, but if they came out and win, I wouldn't be surprised just because we know how this team turns it on in the playoffs. And right now, at this point in the season, they're even better than they were at this point last season. We know they went into the playoffs as a play-in tournament team, 8 seed, and we know what they did from there, including knocking off the Celtics in 7 games, so they might have Boston's heart still. Eric Spoelstra's going to pull something out that we just weren't expecting, and so I think they're the better coach team. Jimmy Butler's starting to come around right now. They're hitting their stride at the right time. Look out for the Heat.
So I guess I would say like the team that I would, if I had to pick one, I would probably go with the Bucks between the two teams y'all just mentioned. But I feel like the Chris Middleton health situation is just kind of up in the air. So if he's healthy, then I think it might be a different story. But we just gotta wait and see on that.